what I do in my spare time. Here's a baby pool. If you notice, I've drilled a hole. Every single one of these fish eyes is actually a drilled hole. And I also drilled a bunch of holes. It kind of looks like I had target practice, but I was just drilling. What this is going to be is a new home for my strawberry plants. So we're trying something called hugelculture, and hugelculture means that we throw sticks in first into the bottom, because apparently when you put sticks in the bottom of you can even do this in a pot, a container, any kind of container or pot that you're putting a plant in. Before you put in the soil, you throw sticks, even logs in the bottom. It helps preserve moisture, and it will eventually decompose, obviously, and provide some good compost for the plant. See? So I've filled it with some logs. They're not too big. If I was doing a bigger bed, you can actually do full-size logs. But since this is I do need a lot of space for the soil, since this is just a baby pool, I'm not putting it too high. I want to keep it kind of low so that it'll be mostly soil. But obviously, the other advantage to this is that you don't have to use as much soil. Don't have to buy as much garden soil. So this is kind of fun. Thought of this on my own, but it's also a type of wood. So, ta-da! Former tax returns. Because I was thinking it'll fill in all these spaces between the logs, and at the same time it is wood, so I'm going to dampen it and pack it down, and it'll be a nice base. So the entire base is going to be this rotting wood debris, both sticks and shredded paper from my paper shredder. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wet this so that we dampen it and it provides a good base for then the soil layers I'm going to put on. So I couldn't hold the hose and film at the same time. Didn't want to get the camera wet, so I've now drenched this. I don't know if you can tell that it's wet, but it's all very wet. So the ideal thing about this is it will now hold that moisture in, and my plants their roots will go down to get this moisture, and I won't have to water, and it will hold it really well, and I won't have to water as often as it would if it was just all soil. So now my next layer was just cheapo stuff that I got from what they call the big box stores from Lowe's for like $2.50 a bag, because the bag was torn up or whatever. So now the next layer was some leaf mulch that I just vacuumed up out of the yard and with my blower / mulcher and chopped up into little pieces, and you'll see a few eggshells in there too. Now I'm really going to layer on a little bit. So this is my soil combining container, and I'm going to put several different things in it. I'm going to do a combination of organic earthworm castings. We're also going to do mushroom compost. We're also going to do, this is, believe it or not, it doesn't look like it, but it's cocoa core. I'll show you the brick. This is a brick. This is the outside of a coconut husk. And it's not prepared yet. I need to wet that. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use one that's already mixed up. And then I'm also going to add some sand. I bought playground sand. And strawberries really like sand. And this is what, it's going to be a strawberry garden. So those are all going to go in this box. And now, secret ingredient. This is called leonardite. But here it's just listed as humic acid. It's potassium. And then I'm going to add some trace minerals, azomite. And these are just going to be small amounts, but they go a long way and do a lot toward enriching the soil back to the way it should be before we totally ruin the soil, so that the plants can get what they need. Another secret ingredient, I had found bags of expired breakfast cereal. So I thought, yeah, sure. It's all organic. breakfast cereal, so it's got lots of vitamins and minerals in it. It's a good way to use this organic potting mix, the nice stuff, right on the top. But I also just remembered coffee grinds. Strawberries like acidic soil, so I'm going to throw half these coffee grinds over the top of my cereal. It is a breakfast container anyway. So, coffee grinds next, then this mixture. I'm going to add some sand, and then we'll put it all in. I've added sand to this mixture, and I'm going to mix it with this potting mix, and then that's going to be the topping on my breakfast concoction. It filled it up just right, so I calculated pretty well. One of the main issues with strawberries is slugs, so I'm hoping they won't figure out how to crawl up in here. The other thing is you'll notice that all the compost type stuff I had underneath is completely now covered with my sand and worm castings and mushroom compost potting soil mixture with the minerals in it, so it'll be right there on the surface. The final product. I forgot to video when I was putting the strawberries in, but you'll see I actually made 2 beds. I used the same formula for both, and I put in, well, strawberry bed, I'll be honest with you, they're supposed to be 18 inches apart, but I bought 30, and so I had to put 15 in each one, and I couldn't fit, so we're going to hope that somehow with my strong soil they'll survive. Well, actually one has died. You'll see right there I have an empty spot, so there's only 14 in here. So anyway, then the other thing to tell you about is apparently birds, I know you think it kind of looks like I already have strawberries, but ha 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 ha, those are actually painted rocks. It seems like a cruel thing, but before the strawberries actually come out, you paint a rock. I went down to the river and got some strawberry shaped rocks, spray painted them, and then I used a Sharpie to put black dots on them. Then the birds will learn that strawberries are actually very hard and tough and not edible, so they won't be tempted to eat them when the actual strawberries come in. So these are just decoys, but instead of attracting the birds, they'll make the birds leave it alone. So then you can also see that I added a nice layer of straw over the top. That also serves several purposes. Clearly, it prevents weeds and it keeps in moisture, and it gives the leaves a nice place to rest on. It keeps them drier, and less likely to get diseases and fungus and stuff. That's the deal. And then I'm going to back up. I'll try to do it without too much problem. I also bought this hardware cloth, and it goes around, because I should say the very first night that I put the bed out, that from the last filming that you saw me do, sure enough, came out the next morning, the groundhog had gotten in it to eat the cereal, no doubt, and have some coffee. So I had to put up this hardware wire, and then I've got some other wire on the top to keep everybody out. And so far it's been about a week and nothing's gotten in, so let's hope that holds with my little system here to attach the hardware cloth, but so that I can still open it.